Are you just tired? Tired of feeling constantly drained, even when you're, doing all the modern self-care things?
Yeah, we reach for that quick fix, don't we? The
Yeah,
shopping trip, the spa day, maybe just zoning out.
exactly. And it feels good for a bit, but then, boom, the weight of everything, work, life, just this sheer chaos, it all comes flooding back.
And that feeling, that fragility, it's something the ancient Stoics really keyed into, like 2,000 years
Didn't
ago.
saw it coming.
Well, they saw the problem.
Oh,
They understood that if your peace, your sense of okayness, depends on things outside of you being perfect, then it's always vulnerable. It can always be snatched away.
okay, so what was their answer? That's what we're diving into today, and it's simple, but definitely not easy.
Right. Emperor Marcus Aurelius, he kind of nailed it. He wrote, "You have power over your mind and not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength."
Power over the mind, not the events. That's the core.
It is. Modern self-care, it often gives you temporary relief. The Stoics, though, they were aiming for something deeper, a real structural shift.
So not indulgence, but cultivation, like building something.
Precisely. Cultivating resilience. That's our mission today. We're going to unpack 8 really powerful discipline habits. These were lived by emperors, by slaves, by philosophers.
And the promise is that these habits teach you how to genuinely care for yourself, build that unbreakable mental toughness, and basically become, well, unstoppable.
It's Stoic self-care. Deliberately building mental clarity, strengthening your character, and importantly, engaging with reality as it is, not just as you wish it were.
Get these down, and you build this inner foundation that no external storm can really shake.
So let's jump in. But maybe let's start near the end, with a daily practice that kind of sets the stage for everything else.
Okay, habit 8 then. The discipline of morning reflection.
Right. Because I think most of us, maybe without realizing it, we lose the battle for the day before we even get out of bed.
Guilty. You wake up, reach for the phone.
Instantly. And bam, you've just handed over your inner state to whatever chaos is waiting there, the news, notifications, emails, other people's drama.
Uh-huh. The Stoics saw that morning time as sacred, didn't they?
Absolutely. It's like preparing the soul for the day's challenges. Think about Marcus Aurelius and his meditations. That wasn't him writing beautiful prose for others.
No, it's personal.
Totally personal, like mental training exercises. He was writing to himself, getting ready for what was coming. And this is where, his famous realism comes in.
Ah, the quote. The one that always makes people think Stoicism is like super gloomy, lay it on us.
He wrote something like, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly."
Oof. Sounds pretty pessimistic.
It does on the surface,
Oof.
but it's actually incredibly practical self-care. It's not about expecting the worst in a negative way.
It's about managing expectations, right? So you're not constantly shocked and offended.
Exactly. Surprise is what fuels resentment and anger. If you realistically anticipate that people might be difficult, flawed, because, well, we all are, then when it happens, you can meet it with patience, maybe even understanding, instead of just outrage.
Okay, so what's the action step? How do we reclaim that morning?
Before the phone, before the emails, just sit, maybe for only a minute or two at first, and ask yourself, okay, what's actually in my control today and what isn't?
Focusing on that distinction.
Crucial. And then set some intentions based on those 4 Stoic virtues.
Ah, yes, the virtues. We hear them mentioned all the time. Let's quickly remind ourselves what they are.
Good idea. So, wisdom. That's seeing things clearly, making good judgments. Justice. Basically, fairness, treating others rightly. Courage, facing challenges, especially fear, including the fear of what others think.
And the last one.
Temperance. That's self-mastery, moderation, control over your impulses and desires. So this morning habit gets you focused on practicing these, not just reacting to whatever the day throws at you.
Okay, practicing virtues. That requires focus and energy. Which leads perfectly into habit 7, the art of saying no.
Yes. This is huge in our modern world, isn't it? This idea that we can somehow do everything, be everything to everyone, and still have something left for ourselves.
It's a recipe for burnout. Saying yes constantly feels like slow self-destruction sometimes.
Seneca was warning about this ages ago. He famously said life isn't actually short, we just make it short because we waste so much of it.
We guard our money more carefully than our time, he said.
Exactly. And time is your life, it's finite. Epictetus had a sharp take on this too. He said if you really want to improve, you have to be okay with people thinking you're kind of foolish or stupid sometimes.
Ouch. But true, right? Setting boundaries can look weird to others.
Especially if they're used to you always saying yes. Improvement takes focus, it takes sacrifice. And that means saying no to things. Every yes to something trivial.
Is a no to something important, like rest or deep work, or just quiet reflection?
Precisely.
Yeah.
So saying no isn't selfish. It's actually profound self-respect. It means you have to get honest about where your time and energy are getting sucked away. Gossip, pointless meetings, obligations you only do out of guilt.
Guarding your time. Critical self-care.
Okay, so we're guarding our time. Now let's talk about something that feels counterintuitive. Habit 6, practicing voluntary discomfort.
Right. Modern life is all about maximizing comfort, minimizing friction. How does intentionally seeking discomfort fit into self-care?
Because constant comfort, the pursuit of perpetual ease, it actually makes us fragile. We become brittle, anxious about tiny disruptions. The soul kind of atrophies without some challenge.
Like a muscle that's never used.
Exactly like that. Seneca advised deliberately practicing living with less sometimes. Wear simpler clothes, eat basic food, maybe sleep on the floor, take a cold shower.
Why? Just to punish yourself.
No, not punishment. Preparation, training. You do these small things voluntarily so that when real hardship hits, and it will eventually for everyone, you're not totally unprepared or devastated. You've built resilience.
You can face it and say, okay, is this the thing I feared? I felt discomfort before. I can handle this.
Precisely. It breaks your dependency on external conditions for your well-being.
This actually sounds a lot like the modern idea of hormesis, doesn't it? Small stresses making the system stronger.
It's the same principle. A little bit of controlled stress, cold exposure, fasting, choosing the stairs, strengthens the body and mind. For the Stoics, real self-care was about strengthening the soul, not just coddling the body.
So this practice frees you from needing everything to be comfortable all the time. That's real freedom.
Okay, freedom from comfort dependency. Now let's talk about internal honesty. Habit 5, journaling with brutal honesty.
Ah, the journaling. We mentioned Marcus Aurelius's meditations earlier. That wasn't just feel-good affirmations, was it?
Not at all. It was a battlefield diary, in a way. He was wrestling with his own weaknesses, his anger, his frustrations, holding himself accountable.
And the key you said is brutal honesty. What does that mean in practice? This isn't like Instagram journaling.
Definitely not. It's not about making it look pretty or sound inspirational. It's about looking squarely at your actions, your thoughts, your motives, without flinching. Seneca suggested a specific kind of evening review.
What did he ask?
Questions like, what weakness did I overcome today? What temptation did I resist? Where did I fall short? In what way am I better? Or perhaps, in what way am I worse?
Wow, that's intense. That's confronting. Why is that considered self-care?
Because self-deception is poison to the soul. Lying to yourself, even subtly, about why you did something or what your flaws are, it lets you just drift. This kind of honest review, it's like medicine. It might sting, but it cleanses and corrects your course.
So the action here is maybe, at the end of the day, measuring your actions against those 4 virtues again. Wisdom, justice, courage, temperance.
Exactly. Did I act wisely? Fairly?
That-
Bravely? With self-control? If yes, great. If not, okay, where did I stumble? What can I learn for tomorrow? That integrity, that alignment that brings peace.
Okay, integrity brings peace, but life still throws curveballs. Which leads us to habit 4, mastering negative visualization.
The premeditatio malorum. Thinking about bad things happening.
Sounds like a recipe for anxiety, not self-care. Why would we intentionally think about loss or failure?
Because most of our deep suffering doesn't come from the events themselves, but from being completely unprepared for them. Blind optimism sets us up for devastation when, inevitably, things go wrong.
So it's about realism again, preparing for the storm.
Yes, but it's more than just bracing for impact. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself of his own mortality. You could leave life right now, he'd write.
Morbid.
Seems like it, but think about the effect. If you realize life is fleeting, doesn't that make you appreciate this moment more? Doesn't it clarify what's truly important? It cuts through the trivial stuff.
Okay, I see that. It increases gratitude and focus, like Epictetus's example. That one's really tough.
The one about embracing a loved one.
Yeah, remind yourself, tomorrow they may die. Sounds so cold.
It does. But the paradox is, it's meant to increase your appreciation and presence with them right now, not make you detached. You savor the moment because you know it's not guaranteed.
So it's mental rehearsal too. Visualizing smaller setbacks, getting insulted, being delayed, and practicing a calm, virtuous response in your mind.
Exactly. You're inoculating yourself, building antibodies against panic and despair. When life does land a blow, that preparation makes the difference between resilience and just completely falling apart.
All right, so we prepare for setbacks, but things still happen. Habit 3 must be about how we handle them in the moment, cultivating emotional control.
This is absolutely central. If you get one thing from Stoicism, maybe it's this. External events, not in your control. Your judgments, your interpretations, your responses, always in your control.
That's Epictetus, right? It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters.
The classic formulation. And Marcus Aurelius adds that if you're distressed by something outside you, the pain isn't actually caused by the thing itself.
It's caused by my estimate of it, my judgment about it.
Precisely. And that judgment, that estimate, you have the power to revoke it at any moment. The suffering is often in the story we tell ourselves about the event.
Okay, conceptually I get it, but how? How do you actually do that in the heat of the moment when you're angry or upset?
Seneca's advice is gold here. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. Just pause. Insert a gap between the stimulus and your response.
Breathe. Create space.
Yes. Use that space to question your initial judgment. Is this really a catastrophe? Can I reframe this? Can I see this obstacle as an opportunity to practice a virtue, like patience or courage?
So emotional control isn't about suppressing feelings, it's about managing your reaction to them.
Exactly. Losing control is basically handing over your inner peace to every little annoyance or setback. Emotional control preserves your energy, your clarity. It's fundamental self-preservation. You use the obstacle as fuel. Remember, Marcus, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way.
Using the obstacle. Okay, that leads us right into what you called the master key earlier. Habit 2, practicing the dichotomy of control.
Yes. If the morning reflection sets the stage and emotional control handles the moment, this dichotomy is the underlying operating system for Stoic peace. It's arguably the most powerful single insight.
And it's deceptively simple. Some things are up to us, some are not.
That's it. What's up to us? Our judgments, our intentions, our choices, our actions right now. What's not up to us?
Pretty much everything else. My body, health, reputation, other people's opinions, the weather, politics, the economy. Crucially, the outcome of my actions.
Exactly. And where does most of our anxiety and frustration come from?
Trying to control the uncontrollable, worrying about things we ultimately can't dictate.
Bingo. It drains your energy, destroys your peace. Epictetus was crystal clear. Don't tie your happiness to external things, jobs, possessions, reputation, because those are like borrowed items. They can be taken away.
Your mind, your character, your choices, those are the only things truly yours.
That's the focus. So the action here is this radical acceptance, this detachment from the outcome. You do your absolute best, you act with virtue, with full effort, and then you release the result.
Accept what happens. Marcus Aurelius said, "Wish that what happens happen the way it happens and you will be happy." Which sounds passive, but it's really about aligning with reality.
It's incredibly active internally. It allows you to act with full commitment, but without the crippling fear of failure or the anxiety about results you can't guarantee. It is genuine freedom.
Okay, so all these habits, morning reflection, saying no, voluntary discomfort, honest journaling, negative visualization, emotional control, the dichotomy of control, they've all been building towards something. What's habit 1? The foundation.
The foundation, the goal, the reason for all the others. Habit 1 is simply this: living according to virtue.
Those 4 virtues again: wisdom, justice, courage, temperance. Why is living by these the ultimate self-care?
Because virtue is the only thing the Stoics considered a true good. Why? Because it's the only thing that's always unequivocally 100% within your control.
Unlike wealth or health or reputation.
All of which can be lost through no fault of your own. But your integrity, your wisdom in judging a situation, your courage in facing it, your fairness in dealing with others, no one can take those from you unless you surrender them.
So cultivating virtue nourishes the deepest part of you, your soul, your character. That's the core of self-care.
It is, and it transforms your relationship with suffering. Hardship, pain, loss, they stop being just crushing blows. They become opportunities. Opportunities to exercise courage, to show resilience, to act with justice, even when wronged.
Like Epictetus, turning the experience of slavery into a forge for incredible strength of character.
Exactly like that. So the practice is simple, conceptually. Align your actions with your principles every day, every choice. Reject hypocrisy. Ask yourself constantly, what would wisdom do here? What does courage demand? What is the just action? What does temperance require?
It's the synthesis of everything else. If you focus on living virtuously, you'll naturally practice the other habits because they enable virtue.
They are the tools. Virtue is the aim. This discipline, this commitment to living well, according to reason and ethics, that's the bedrock of real, unshakable self-love and resilience.
So let's wrap this up. The world out there, it sells us indulgence, quick fixes, escapes.
Yeah, temporary relief. But the Stoics, they offer something different. They offer mastery, the actual tools that let people, emperors and slaves alike, navigate total chaos with dignity and inner peace.
True self-care, then, isn't about pampering. It's more like a responsibility, a duty we owe ourselves to cultivate our character.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's about tending to your soul, building that inner citadel.
Now, we have to be honest. This isn't easy. None of these habits are the path of least
It's
resistance.
definitely not. It means waking up a bit earlier, maybe, resisting impulses, choosing the slightly harder path sometimes, facing uncomfortable truths about yourself.
But easy habits tend to produce shallow results, don't they?
They do. The Stoics never promise comfort. They promise strength. And ultimately, it's that strength that makes you truly resilient, truly sovereign over your own inner life.
So the challenge to you listening right now is to make a commitment. Don't feel like you have to tackle all 8 habits tomorrow.
No way. Just pick one. Maybe it's the morning reflection. Maybe it's practicing saying no to one small thing. Maybe it's that evening review. Just choose one and actually do it.
Because the transformation only happens when knowledge turns into consistent action.
So seal that commitment. Make it real for yourself. Own the mindset, the declaration that defines this whole approach.
What's the phrase to carry forward?
I live with virtue.
Embrace that. Practice it. And you really will find yourself becoming unstoppable.